Yeah, Weege show here. We are down on the track. I don't often get out here, but I found this secret tunnel, and here we are. And normally, you want to see the track after the races because they're unbelievably hammered. But that's not the case. The Triple Crown, I don't think the track took quite as much of a beating because it's fewer laps, less time of each individual race. If you add it up, it's actually more time. But each race is shorter so you can get track maintenance in. It doesn't look that bad, although obviously the equipment's out here shaping things up and piling it away right now. So we're gonna talk Triple Crown as we review everything, brought to you by Racetech and their goal valves. I better get out of here before I get yelled at because they're working on the track right now. And I don't want to get scooped up, and I'm not very quick in my current state. So here's the thing with Triple Crowns. When Monster Energy AMA Supercross introduced them a couple of years ago, we all thought, oh man, we're gonna see chaos, we're gonna see unpredictability, these are short races, and you never know who's gonna get a good start, and crazy things are going to happen, and the results are going to be wild. In reality, it's actually turned out to be the opposite of that. The racing results by the end of the night have actually been more predictable because what we realized is if you average out 3 races, the chances of the best guy not winning are actually reduced. With a one main event typical format, if the best guy just gets a really bad start or goes down once, he's not going to win. He can come back and win the next 2 Triple Crown races in this format and still get the overall. And that's why Eli Tomac, who is not known for great starts, who is known as more of a late race endurance guy, has actually turned out to be very good in the shorter Triple Crown format races because generally he's the best guy, and if you average out 3 races, even if he makes one mistake, he's still going to win the overall. So that was the theory I had come up with, that it's all a little bit more predictable in the Triple Crowns, but we did have some changes here, surprise winners. Jeff Manhart, my man, good to see you. 2 riders who had not won this year take the overall wins, and one of them had never won one of these races before, and the Triple Crown format worked for and against him. We'll get into that in a moment. Shout out to Racetech and their gold valves. You know your suspension will be plusher, better bottoming resistance, more traction, all made and engineered in the USA. No supply chain problems because they make their stuff in America. So go to Racetech.com or find your local Racetech service center. They help out a lot of suspension companies, providing them with parts and technology and even classes. Pretty cool. So let's start at the top. Something I had not thought of. The beginning of the year, we knew that KTM and Husqvarna, their new generation bikes, the Rockstar Edition or the Factory Edition machines, a lot of hype coming in about how good these bikes were going to be this year, did not manifest itself once it was time to go racing. It has been much discussed, the problems that Cooper Webb had adapting to the bike. We didn't get to see much from Aaron Plessinger this year. And Marvin Musquin, I don't know where the expectations were. Even he said, I didn't know if I was gonna win. The people around me are gonna be mad because I should believe in myself more, but these guys are tough, and I was just hoping to be around the podium. I didn't know if I could get a win. But certainly if you're Cooper Webb and you come in with a #1 plate in your bike and things aren't going well, well, that was talked about a lot. They have had a tough time with that bike, and the most outspoken person of all was RJ Hampshire of the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team in the 250 class that was super bummed and super blunt about it. In the previous press conference where he got 3rd the last time we raced 250 Supercross East, he said even though he got 3rd, he rode terrible, it was bad, he struggled again, he was basically just surviving, he couldn't trust the bike. They got the bike really late because of the supply chain issues, and because the bike was brand new, they didn't have a lot of parts to try. It was a depressing podium from RJ Hampshire at the last race. But he pointed something out tonight. Hampshire would go on to take the win. I'll explain how it all shook out in a moment. Hampshire would take the win, and he pointed out, with he and Musquin getting the wins tonight, that new generation machine has won for the first time for both bikes on the same night. So quite a turnaround for them. Certainly there have probably been a lot of late night phone calls when you consider time zones back to Austria. That one was hard earned. Let's talk about how Musquin got it done. Look, sometimes when you get a guy who hasn't won all year and he wins in a Triple Crown, again, you think it's because they're chaotic. No, there wasn't any crazy stuff going on. Musquin was just the best rider tonight. Eli Tomac had 5 wins in a row coming in. He just didn't have it this time. He wasn't the same Eli Tomac. Starts were not great in the first 2 races, and there really wasn't much on this track to separate. He just said on this track, I wasn't man enough to come through. Start was awesome in the last race, and he won it. On TV, he alluded to a fork change, made the bike work better. but then he said in the press conference, looking back at it, it didn't make that much of a difference. It really was, the start was better in the last race. So congrats to Musquin. He was just the best guy. Mr. DV.
What's going on?
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Are we going to make it?
Oh, no, you're in, dude. You're in. You're in. Oh, I'm not editing this out.
Okay.
I mean, if there's anyone I should be a little worried about what he might say or what he might do.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
No, I'm fine.
No, you're good. Okay, he said the track was very technical, and he was working very hard on the techniques that you guys work on during the week. So can you give me something?
Technique of jumping the whoops.
Can you? Well, he said that. You worked on jumping whoops this week.
Yeah, all week, yeah.
Could not jump these whoops.
Yeah, but we work on different stuff, and then to be like consistent, precise. You know,
Yeah.
it's always the same thing over and over, kind of.
Yes.
And then you have to repeat the same thing over and over. It seems like, even if you said it 100 times, but it's all about repetition and, you know, finding the confidence and feeling good the way you ride during the week, and then you bring it to the race, you know. And it's been riding good the last, you know, few weeks, months.
Yeah, yes.
And then,
Yeah.
having fun, and it seems like it's and then he asked to ride more than I would like to, so almost.
Okay. During the week.
Yeah.
You would rather do less.
A little less. I would do a little less riding.
Yeah.
Because I know how hard it is to you know, be consistent and strong for 17 races. And
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
With only one weekend off.
Yeah.
And but we gave him 3 days off. We were in the desert by the pool the last weekend.
Okay,
Just to
okay.
just relax and, you know, have good food and just like regroup.
Yep.
But yeah, he's been asking to ride a little more, a little less on the training side. So we do the training more on the bike, and then just doing repetition, having fun, changing the track a little bit. And
But didn't he get on the sprint bike like on Sunday when we got back from the weekend? Because
yeah,
he felt a little guilty.
yeah,
So
after-
he was like, I need
on
to
Sunday
spend
night when he got home and he felt guilty of like eating maybe
doing
too
nothing
much
for
food.
3 days.
This is on the off weekend.
Yeah.
The off weekend. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's been the dynamic of working and having fun and then riding good.
Yeah.
It's been,
Good momentum.
yeah, there's a good dynamic, and you know, it seems like he's happy and he has no pressure also, you know.
Yeah.
And like I told him after the second moto, I'm like, I told him, you might not have this opportunity ever again. So you gotta, you know, that's it.
Yeah. How about no pressure then?
No,
Dude,
but like,
that's a lot of pressure.
It's not about pressure. It's just
Yeah.
been like to show you your best self.
Yeah.
You know, like, because if he would have lost, or if Chase would have beat him in the last moto, that's his fault. You
Okay.
know?
Okay.
And you lost the race.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
you're leading after 2. We gotta, you know, and then when there's an opportunity at 32 years old to win the biggest, you know, race in dirt bikes, you gotta take it. You gotta give it your best, you know.
Yep.
And I think you were really smart, and you know, we worked on some of the lines, and the whoops were a little better tonight than Seattle, for say.
Yeah.
Even if there were jumpers in Seattle at the end,
Yeah.
he wasn't like amazing in them. But tonight he improved during the night. We changed some lines, and you know, I'm happy for him. You know, it's
Sure.
I know what it is to be like. I sucked at the end of my career, so it would have been like great to be old and winning races.
Yeah.
And look, he's 32, he's still capable of winning stuff like that, so it's great. Great for him.
You mentioned 2 things I want to talk about. First of all, being precise. I think we all watch practice, we see jump lines. It really never comes down to anymore who has the one good lap, who has a heater in them, who jumps something. Is it really more about consistency, not having the couple of bad laps? Matching your decent time throughout the entire night. Instead of having a couple of good ones, it's not having a bunch of bad ones. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think there's safe lines to take, and
Yeah.
then there's maybe better, faster line, and then we talk about this, I'm like, some lines are maybe better, but you know, they may be tough to be precise and,
Yes.
and not make a mistake in those lines.
Right.
So
You could have 3 good laps, but 1 really bad one.
Yeah, so you
Yep.
gotta sometimes like find some safe lines where
Yeah.
you don't have to think about it. You don't have to be like super concentrated to put your wheel like in that inch. You know,
Okay.
like so we did that for the last moto,
Yeah.
and that worked out. And,
Yep.
but yeah, now the race has been 20 minutes and then 25, 26 laps.
Yeah.
You know? And you first, I always said, technique first, speed later.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So,
Yep.
And especially on track like this, you have 6 motos, a lot of more time on the track with the bike. So
Yep.
soft dirt, rutted. So you have to find this groove where you don't clip, you jump everything every lap. You know, you descend in the whoops, you want to stay straight, and then you gotta perform like that. So they did 45 laps tonight.
Yeah,
Three
yeah.
times 15.
Right.
You gotta be on it for 45. So
Crazy.
You know, and we switched a little bit of. We did some challenges on the bike during the week, and just to show him like he can do maybe more than he thinks.
Well, okay, you nailed the other thing I wanted to ask you about. He said in the press conference, he's like, I was just hoping for a podium. People in my group are going to be mad because they want me to win or want me to believe in myself that I can win.
Yeah, I think
not just podium, win.
And it's frustrating because you know, I've been working with I worked with Mal like a few years ago just on the bike side, and then, this year he asked me to take over everything and just to do something different. A different approach.
Yep.
And I always said, I don't think we, even if he had 10 wins and then almost 50 podium in Supercross, he's one of the greatest, you know, like, that's very good.
Yeah,
you know,
elite of the
wins.
elite, yes.
Yeah. But I still think that we did not see the best of his potential or his career.
Really?
So
there was another like 1% you could have got.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about it forever because I wasn't working with him for, you know, maybe 10 years. And I was just watching and analyzing and going on the pub show, talking in interviews and stuff. And but now, like, he's at the back end of his career, so it's even tougher to compensate age and then, you know, the weight of all those years and still perform. I think he's amazing on the dirt bike. He's you know, but it doesn't transfer to raw results all the time. You know, there's some races this year where he was leading and he got 10th, and then you don't really know what happened, and I don't know, I didn't feel it. But we need to get back to, you know, having fun, doing all the obstacles, having fun and be precise and smooth, and then speed comes. You know, like speed is easy when you do everything right. Speed comes very natural.
Technique first, speed comes next.
Yeah,
I like it. Oh, congrats! And by the way, I was saying, Triple Crown. People would think, oh, crazy stuff happens. He was just the best rider tonight.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was chaotic and he just survived.
No,
he rode good.
He did everything right to win the race. Yeah. Start in front, 1, 2, 3, right there.
Yeah.
No mistakes. You know, won a moto, had the best, the lowest score.
There you go. Earned it. Good job, David Vuillemin. All right, and good job, Marvin Musquin. That's career win number 10. He's got more wins than you now. He had 8. I believe he had 8. David Vuillemin working with Marvin Musquin. Well, that wasn't scheduled, that interview, but that was really good stuff. That's pretty much all that we're going to have time for. I just want to mention Hampshire's win in the 250 class. Look, RJ was on flyers in practice. He looked great in the first 2 sessions. Jet Lawrence a little faster in the final session. But Hampshire's starts were unbelievable. He hole shot everything. They even had a red flag restart. He essentially got 4 hole shots in the 3 races because one of them was restarted. But he crashed in the first race. He had a big lead over Lawrence at that point, and it's just like, RJ's not going to do it, man. He's just always going to crash it away. He's always going to be this close and crash it away. He pulled it together. I don't know how he survived the crash in the first race. He did. And then Lawrence blew it in the last one with a crash, ran in the back of Jason Owen in the whoops. But he had a bad start, which has put him back there. So justice was served. And Hampshire gets the win. He was crying. That's what you want to see. This dude puts his heart into it. There's no doubt about it. And he got a win, and that was really, really cool to see someone that tries that hard and wears his emotions on his sleeve, high and low, and get that win. All right, that's it for our show. We'll see you in Atlanta next week, where East and West are going to race against each other. Thanks to Race Tech for backing us.